Chosen one. Pause right here. Heaven is leaning in. You may think you simply found this message, but nothing about this moment is ordinary. Nothing is accidental. Nothing is random. When God wants to speak to one of his chosen, he arranges moments that look natural but feel supernatural moments, exactly like this one. The air around your spirit shifts. Your mind grows unusually quiet. Something inside you whispers, "Pay attention. This is for you." And it is, because you are not like the rest. You were never meant to fade into the background. You were not created to be overlooked or forgotten. You were created to be witnessed by heaven. Chosen one. Listen closely. There is a truth you must hear. When you prayed even the quiet, trembling prayer you made while trying not to cry, an angel stood beside you. Not far away, not somewhere in the distance, right next to you. Close enough to feel the shaking in your chest. Close enough to hear every word you whispered. Close enough to catch the tears that never reached the ground. You thought you were alone. Heaven knew you were not, and the angel assigned to you knew it too. You see, your prayers carry more weight than you realize. To you, it may have been a moment of desperation. To heaven, it was a moment of activation. Something shifted when you prayed. The realms responded. The heavens stirred. The atmosphere around your destiny shifted course. Angels do not stand beside just anyone. They stand beside the chosen, the marked, the called, and you are one of them. That is why the attacks have been unusual. That is why the disappointments cut deeper. That is why the struggles felt heavier than what others seem to face. It is not because you are weak. It is because you are spiritually significant. Chosen souls feel pressure that ordinary people never experience. Chosen souls fight battles that others never see. Chosen souls carry destinies that make darkness tremble, and yours trembles more than most. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 7, verse 7, "Ask, and it will be given to you. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened to you." Read it again, slowly. Let every word wrap itself around your heart. Ask, and it will be given. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and the door will be opened. Your prayer did not vanish. Your seeking was not ignored. Your knocking did not go unheard. The angel that stood beside you carried your prayer upward like a sacred report, a testimony of your endurance, a record of your faithfulness in hardship, a witness of your courage to keep believing even when you were breaking. Heaven values faith like that. You see, anyone can praise when life is easy. Anyone can believe when everything makes sense. But only a chosen one can stand in the dark, trembling, hurting, tired, and still say, "God, I need you." Only a chosen one can survive storms that were designed to drown them and still rise. Only a chosen one prays prayers that angels are commanded to accompany. You have survived what others didn't even know you were battling. You have walked through nights that felt endless. You have carried burdens with no applause, no audience, and no help, and heaven saw all of it. This is why you are being spoken to in this moment, because heaven is acknowledging what you thought no one noticed. Heaven is confirming what your spirit already suspected, but was afraid to believe. You are chosen. You are protected. You are watched over. And now, chosen one, something else is unfolding. Your spirit is awakening. The veil is thinning. The call over your life is getting louder. That is the presence of God, bearing witness with your spirit. It is the same presence that stood beside you during your prayer, not to judge you, not to analyze you, but to guard you, to comfort you, to deliver your cry to heaven. And now heaven is giving you its reply. This moment is not entertainment. This is alignment. This is activation. This is divine timing. You are being positioned for something greater than what you've lived until now. Heaven is opening new doors, shifting atmospheres, and preparing breakthroughs that match the weight of the battles you've endured. But before the next shift, heaven asks for something simple, a response. Not for the algorithm, not for validation, but as an act of faith, a sign that you hear, you receive, and you are ready. So now, chosen one, if this message resonates in your spirit, if you feel God speaking through these words, if you know deep inside that this moment was orchestrated for you, like, share, comment, and subscribe, so you never miss another message sent for your spirit. And as an act of faith that you hear heaven's call, comment the number 77. You move forward from the sacred moment you experienced. Chosen one. And even if you cannot explain it with human language, something inside you already knows. Heaven has shifted position around your life. When that angel stood beside you, it was not merely a gesture of comfort, it was a declaration in the spiritual realm. It marked the moment when your cry touched a depth that heaven could not ignore. And now, every step you take is happening under a new level of divine attention. You have lived many seasons believing you were unnoticed. You endured storms quietly, breaking silently, healing yourself in the dark because you felt there was no one who truly understood the weight you carried. But heaven was never distant from you. Just because the world failed to see your heart does not mean God failed to see it. Heaven pays attention when no one else does. Even the moments you considered insignificant, those late-night whispers, those trembling prayers, those times you looked upward with no words left to speak, were moments that heaven received as offerings. These were not ignored. They were not wasted. They were not lost in the air. Angels were assigned because your spirit cried out in a way that moved the throne of God. You may not have felt the shift immediately. Most chosen ones don't. Heaven rarely reveals its movement until the movement is complete. But the realms responded to you instantly. Your prayer produced activity you could not see yet. Activity that moved angels, blocked attacks, redirected your path, and strengthened your future. Now the truth comes to meet you. The ancient words recorded in Romans, chapter 8, verse 28. Speak loudly even now, and we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love him, who are called according to his purpose. Let your heart absorb this. Chosen one, everything, the loss, the pressure, the loneliness, the unanswered questions is being woven into something intentional. Heaven wastes nothing that happens to a chosen one. Even your mistakes are being bent toward your destiny. Even the pain you didn't understand is being restructured to serve your calling. Heaven took notice of you because you are called. And being called does not mean being comfortable. Being called means being carved, shaped, refined, strengthened. This is why your life has never been simple. Why nothing seems to come easy. Why you've had to fight for peace, for clarity, for stability, The weight you feel is the weight of purpose. The battles you face are the battles of the chosen. The pressure you've endured is proof of the anointing resting on you. And now, the heavens have begun moving differently around your life. You may feel more emotionally sensitive than before, or more spiritually aware. You may feel pulled away from certain places, conversations, or people. You may feel an inner stirring that you cannot explain, a sense that something huge is approaching. Even if you cannot yet name it, that is not anxiety. That is not imagination. That is spiritual alignment. When heaven takes notice, your spirit becomes tuned to things you used to overlook. You begin noticing the shift before it becomes visible. You begin sensing breakthroughs before they reach your hands. You begin discerning attacks before they reach your doorstep. You become spiritually awake. Chosen one. Do you remember the sudden moments when something inside you said, "Don't go there"? The moments when you felt a pull away from someone who later revealed their true intentions. The moments when you were delayed, frustrated, or blocked, only to discover later that God had spared you from something. That was heaven responding. That was the protection that began the moment you prayed. That was the angel assigned to you at work. Your cry triggered a chain reaction. Heaven began rearranging what was ahead of you, dangers you didn't know were there, opportunities that weren't yet ready, blessings that needed time to align. Heaven's timing is not slow. Heaven's timing is strategic. The reaction to your prayer might look delayed, but it has never been denied. The truth is that spiritual answers often manifest first in the unseen realm. At first, nothing around you looks different, but within you, something feels different. You can't explain it, but your soul knows something is approaching, something weighty, something holy, something new. This is the early stage of your breakthrough. This is when your spirit recognizes God's movement before your eyes do. This is when heaven has already spoken, yes. Even if the world has not yet caught up, you step deeper into this unfolding revelation. Chosen one. And more is being unveiled to you now. The unseen realm that surrounded your life for years, the realm you could feel but could never fully describe, is finally coming into view. You have walked through battles without knowing their names, fought enemies you couldn't see, and endured storms that didn't match the circumstances around you. But now the truth emerges. You were not imagining the pressure. You were not exaggerating the heaviness. You were living through spiritual warfare designed to stop a destiny as powerful as yours. There were days when your heart felt heavy for no reason. Nights when fear settled on you like a shadow. Moments when discouragement tried to silence your voice, and you wondered, why does life feel like this? Because, chosen one, you were not just living, you were resisting attacks meant to derail your calling. Darkness recognized your purpose long before you recognized it yourself. That is why the resistance came early, and why it came hard. You must understand this now. Your struggle was never ordinary. Your pressure was never random. Your tears were never wasted. Heaven was shielding you the entire time. Even when you felt most unprotected, the voice of God thundered in the book of Exodus, chapter 14, verse 14. The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still. And you didn't lose. You were being defended. Even on the days that felt chaotic, heaven was intervening. The doors that suddenly closed were doors heaven refused to let you walk through. The relationships that ended abruptly were shields God placed over your heart. The opportunities that slipped away were battles Heaven won on your behalf. And the heaviness you felt, it wasn't weakness, it was the collision of two kingdoms. Every chosen soul attracts warfare. Every anointed spirit disrupts darkness. Every person carrying destiny becomes a target long before they become aware. And you, chosen one, have always carried more than most. This is why your emotional sensitivity has increased, why your dreams have been shifting, why you feel an inner pull away from certain people or environments. You're not imagining it. Your spirit is becoming aware of what has always been happening around you. For years, the warfare around your life operated in silence because darkness hoped you would never understand what you were fighting. But the moment a chosen one gains awareness, the spiritual landscape changes. You are no longer fighting blindly. You are no longer stumbling in confusion. You are beginning to see, truly see, the magnitude of what has been warring against you and the magnitude of heaven's protection around you. Your survival was not luck. It was divine intervention. You survived emotional traps that were designed to break you. You survived moments where your own thoughts were being attacked. You survived seasons where hope felt thin and strength felt gone. And yet, here you stand, not destroyed, but awakening. You are stepping into spiritual clarity, a clarity that explains why some people were removed from your life, why certain doors closed, why certain seasons felt so intense. A clarity that reveals the battles behind the scenes, battles that heaven fought for you when your strength could not. And now, the revelation deepens. Your survival is proof of your significance. Your endurance is evidence of your calling. Your awakening is the beginning of a new level of spiritual authority. This moment matters, because now you are no longer unaware. Your spirit is rising. Your understanding is sharpening. Your identity is strengthening. You are seeing the patterns. You are recognizing the attacks. You are feeling the shift. And once a chosen one sees, darkness can no longer operate in the same way. Before we move forward, heaven wants you to make a declaration, small in words, but massive in impact. A declaration that says your spirit is no longer blind, confused, or passive. A declaration that signals to heaven and announces to the unseen realm that you are awake and aligned. Type the words, "I see it." This is not a comment for the sake of commenting. This is a spiritual statement. When you speak it, you acknowledge your awakening. When you declare it, you break the power of confusion. When you write it, you align your spirit with truth. These three simple words mark the moment your eyes open, the moment you step from surviving into understanding, from confusion into clarity, from battle into awareness. You move forward. Chosen one. And now the revelation deepens. You begin to understand something you sensed your whole life, but could never articulate. You were marked by light long before you knew what light even was. Even in childhood, there was something different about you, a sensitivity, a depth, an awareness that set you apart. You carried a brightness you didn't choose, a spiritual weight you didn't ask for, and a quiet wisdom that came from a place you couldn't name. This is why darkness recognized you early, before you understood your own identity. The unseen realm already understood it. Before you discovered your calling, the enemy had already detected it. Before you learned to speak prayers, heaven had already written purpose into your spirit. And because you carried light, darkness reacted. Think back to when you were young. The strange heaviness you felt, even when others seemed carefree. the loneliness that followed you even in a crowd, the moments where you sensed danger without knowing why, the dreams that felt too real, the emotions that ran deeper than what a child should ever feel. These were not signs of weakness, they were signs of awareness. Spiritual sensitivity is not learned, it is inherited. It comes from the soul of someone born with a calling that heaven intends to use. You weren't picking up random emotions. You were perceiving atmospheres. You weren't overthinking. You were discerning. You weren't too sensitive. You were spiritually alert. You were marked. And the mark was light. But here is the part you never fully understood. Light attracts attention, both heavenly and unholy. Darkness identifies light not by size, but by purity. And the light in you has always been pure. It's why certain people reacted to you with jealousy before you even knew what jealousy was. It's why some adults saw you as a threat, even when you were just a child. It's why some friendships dissolved without explanation. Why some people mistreated you for no logical reason. Why some environments felt suffocating to your spirit. Your light disrupted their shadows. It's not something you tried to do. It's simply who you are. Your presence exposes what others are trying to hide. Your honesty confronts what others avoid. Your spirit awakens what others are trying to silence. And darkness recognized this even before you did. We are reminded through the writings of David in the Psalms, chapter 27, verse 1. The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear? This light, the one that made you different, the one that made you a target, was never merely your own. It was God within you. And anything God places His light upon becomes visible in the spiritual realm. Darkness cannot pass by unnoticed when light is present. And light cannot remain hidden once God has marked it. This explains why the struggles you faced in youth were not typical, why certain attacks came early, why confusion tried to wrap itself around your identity, why your self-worth was challenged long before adulthood. Darkness hoped to distort the light before it matured. It hoped to make you question your value so deeply that you would never discover your calling. It hoped to wear you down early before you realized how powerful you truly are. But it failed, because you are still here. And because heaven did not put light in you to let darkness extinguish it, as you grew, the mark on your life did not fade. It intensified. You didn't grow out of your sensitivity. It sharpened. You didn't lose your depth. It deepened. You didn't escape your calling. It pursued you. Even when you ran from God, the light within you refused to die. Even when you tried to blend in, something in you resisted it. Even when you attempted to disconnect from your spiritual identity, life kept pulling you back. Chosen one. This is because your identity is not self-made, it is heaven-made. Your light comes from the one who shaped you, and your destiny was written before darkness ever tried to alter it. This is why the pressure increased as you got older. The more your light matured, the more the unseen realm reacted. But the increasing resistance was never a sign that you were losing, it was a sign that you were rising. You're beginning to understand now. Your struggles were not random. Your pain was not punishment. Your sensitivity was not a flaw. Everything in your story points to one truth: you were marked by God from the beginning. And when God marks someone, darkness notices, but it cannot stop them. It cannot silence them. It cannot break them. You didn't choose this light, but you carry it with a strength the enemy underestimated. And now, as your awareness expands, you are stepping into the fullness of what that light was always meant to reveal. Something begins to rise inside you now. Chosen one, not just awareness, not just clarity, but destiny itself. It presses against the walls of your comfort, like a seed that has outgrown the darkness of the soil and feels sunlight calling it upward. You may not realize it yet, but your entire life has been preparing you for this very shift, a shift in identity, responsibility, and spiritual posture. Destiny is not a sudden explosion, it is a slow, steady awakening of what was planted in you long before you were born. You have always felt it, that quiet pull towards something greater, like a river that keeps calling your name, like a flame that refuses to die out, like a path that keeps reappearing no matter how many times you wander away. This something greater isn't imagination, it is assignment. Destiny has been knocking at the door of your heart since childhood, sometimes gently, sometimes forcefully, but always faithfully. Every disappointment shaped it, every heartbreak watered it, every closed door redirected it, and every breakthrough whispered, "Keep going, there is more." But here is the truth, destiny wants you to understand now. Sometimes God allows your comfort to collapse so that your calling can rise. Sometimes He lets certain seasons expire because you have outgrown them. Sometimes He removes people you love so He can place people you need. Growth is rarely gentle. Awakening is rarely quiet. Destiny is rarely convenient. This is why your life shifted the moment heaven took notice. You are not just living, you are being summoned. And heaven does not summon without purpose. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Esther, chapter 4, verse 14, who knows if perhaps you were made queen for just such a time as this? This ancient reminder echoes through your spirit now. You were made for this moment. You were shaped by every trial, strengthened by every setback, refined by every storm. Your destiny is not ahead of you, it is rising within you. And as destiny rises, God begins rearranging your inner world. Your desires shift. Your appetite for trivial things fades. Your tolerance for anything that drains your spirit decreases. You begin to crave purpose, the way the ocean craves the pull of the moon. You begin to sense that your life does not belong to the shadows of the past, but to the horizon of what is coming. This is the season where heaven pushes you gently but firmly toward the calling you once felt unqualified for. The calling that felt too big. The calling that felt overwhelming. The calling you kept postponing because you thought you needed to be stronger first, healed first, visa first. But destiny doesn't wait for perfection, it waits for willingness. Chosen one. Your spirit is willing now. You can feel it. Something inside you is standing taller than before. It is your purpose rising. And now comes the part many chosen ones never understand. When destiny awakens, you must begin to move with intention. You must feed the fire inside you. You must invest in the things that shape your growth. You cannot rise on an empty soul. You cannot walk a divine path while starving your spirit. You cannot pour into your calling if nothing is pouring into you. This journey, you are on this transformation. This awakening, it requires nourishment. Not just emotional and spiritual nourishment, but the support of a community, the strength of connection, the resources that allow truth to keep flowing freely into your life. This message, this guidance, this spiritual lifting you, feel it is part of the path heaven is using to strengthen you. Every word is a brick in the foundation of the person you are becoming. And if you feel this deeply, If you know these messages are feeding your spirit, helping you grow, helping you rise, then let your heart respond with sincerity. If you want this mission to continue, if you want more messages, more guidance, more spiritual nourishment, then support in whatever way you can. A like is a seed, a share is a ripple, a subscribe is a step closer, and a donation, no matter how small, becomes a thread in the tapestry of someone else's breakthrough as well. Not out of pressure, not out of obligation, but because destiny grows stronger where love is planted. Your support keeps the light traveling. It keeps the message reaching those who need it most. It becomes part of the spiritual impact that spreads far beyond what your eyes can see. Think of it like watering a tree that gives fruit to thousands, like fueling a lantern that lights the path for countless souls in the dark, like placing oil into a lamp so the flame never dies. You are not giving to a person, you are contributing to a mission that is awakening chosen ones all around the world, just like you. And as you rise, others will rise because of your response. Destiny is not a solo journey. It is a chain reaction, a ripple of obedience that becomes a wave of transformation. Chosen one, this is your time, your moment, your calling. Heaven is not whispering anymore. Heaven is speaking loudly now. Rise, step into what was always meant for you, and support the path that is supporting your becoming. You step into this next moment, chosen one, and something sacred becomes clear. The prayer you once thought was small, the one you whispered with trembling hands, the one you weren't even sure God heard, shifted entire realms. You didn't just speak words, you released a spiritual signal that stirred the heavens. There are moments in the journey of a chosen one when heaven moves suddenly, gently, powerfully, and you do not realize the impact until much later. Section 6 is the unfolding of that realization. This is the moment you understand that prayer did something. It triggered something. It awakened something, not just in you, but in the spiritual atmosphere around your life. There are prayers that God hears, and then there are prayers that heaven responds to immediately. Your prayer was the second kind. Sometimes you pray from your mind, other times you pray from your heart. But that prayer, the one heaven responded to, came directly from your spirit. And a spirit to God cry cannot go unanswered. You may have walked away thinking nothing happened. You may have dried your tears and returned to life. You may have told yourself, maybe God is silent. But heaven was not silent. Heaven was working. Heaven was shifting the realm behind your future. Heaven was rearranging what was ahead of you. Heaven was moving obstacles you didn't know were coming. Because prayer does not always change your surroundings first. Sometimes it changes your timeline. The ancient words recorded in Daniel, chapter 10, verse 12 remind us, from the moment you set your heart to understand and humbled yourself, your words were heard, and I have come in response to them. And your words were heard the moment your heart reached toward God. Not the 10th moment, not the 5th day, not the 2nd week, the moment. And from that single moment, heaven began moving on your behalf. This is why things in your life began shifting unexpectedly. This is why certain people drifted out of your path without explanation. This is why you felt pulled away from things that used to feel normal. This is why certain opportunities closed, not to punish you, but to protect you. Your prayer didn't just rise to heaven, it activated an intervention. Picture it, a wave traveling through the unseen realm, Angels changing position. Assignments being released. Hidden traps dissolving before you ever reached them. Blockages lifting. Slowly but surely. Your prayer broke something open, and it opened something new. This is why, recently, your spirit has been restless. It's not anxiety, it's transition. It's heaven rearranging what your life is about to step into. When heaven moves, your atmosphere changes before your circumstances do. You're not losing control. You're gaining alignment. Destiny rearranges everything it touches. And the moment heaven responds, the shift becomes inevitable. You may feel it in small moments, a sudden clarity, a gentle pull towards something new, a quiet inner strength rising. You may not recognize the full picture yet, but the movement is real. Chosen one. You are standing in the early stages of a divine turning point. This is how spiritual change begins. Silently, slowly, deeply. Before it becomes visible, it becomes undeniable. Something has already begun. You can feel it in the way you think, in the way you see, in the way your heart reacts to things differently. The prayer that shifted realms also shifted you. And here's what heaven wants you to understand. You are entering a season where what used to break you will no longer shake you, where what used to confuse you will now reveal you, where what used to frighten you will now strengthen you. Because when heaven moves, fear loses authority. When heaven speaks, doubt loses power. When heaven responds, darkness loses control. You prayed, heaven answered. You cried, heaven moved. You reached for God, heaven reached back. Now, before we continue, heaven asks for a prophetic response, a simple act of alignment, a number that symbolizes new cycles, new beginnings, new realms. Type the number 444, not as a ritual, not as superstition, but as a declaration of agreement, a spiritual acknowledgement that you recognize heaven has intervened and that you choose to walk into what God has begun. Arba me'ot arba'im ve'arba means I align, I receive, I step forward. Write it with intention. Write it with faith. Write it knowing heaven has already moved. What the angel carried from your whispered words is now beginning to unfold. Chosen one. The unseen report, the sacred testimony of your prayer, was not just delivered to heaven, but recorded, vehid, and acted upon. You may not realize it, but the moment you prayed, that angel did more than stand beside you. It gathered the pieces of your heart, the tremble in your voice, the sincerity in your cry, and presented them before the throne with a clarity you could never articulate through human language. You have to understand something profound now. Heaven does not respond only to words. Heaven responds to honesty, to surrender, to truth, to the cry that comes from the depths of your spirit. When you prayed, the angel didn't merely take what you said, it took what you meant. It took the ache behind your questions, the longing behind your silence, the hope buried beneath your disappointments. The angel carried the parts of your prayer you didn't know how to speak. Heaven received the full picture, not the polished version, not the filtered version, but the raw, unedited truth of your heart. And that is why the report mattered. You see, in the spiritual realm, angels are not messengers of emotion, they are messengers of essence. They don't carry speech, they carry meaning. They don't carry sound, they carry reality. And what the angel carried from you was the reality of your soul, as was spoken in the prophet's writings, in the book of Malachi, chapter 3, verse 16. Then those who feared the Lord spoke with one another, and the Lord listened and heard them, and a book of remembrance was written before him for those who honor his name. This is what happened when you prayed. Your voice was written into remembrance. Your cry was placed into record. Your pain was acknowledged in the courts of heaven. Nothing was ignored. Nothing dismissed. Nothing forgotten. The angelic report included every layer of your spirit, not to expose you, but to protect you, not to judge you, but to justify you, not to shame you, but to elevate you. Heaven needed the truth of your situation so it could release the truth of your destiny. There are things you thought you prayed for and things you didn't realize you prayed for. Your words asked for relief, but heaven heard a request for transformation. Your voice asked for help, but heaven heard a cry for alignment. Your tears asked for comfort, but heaven understood it as readiness for change. The angel delivered all of this. It carried your inner war, your confusion, your longing for direction. It carried the moments you questioned yourself, the moments you doubted your worth, the moments you feared you weren't enough. It carried the unspoken belief that maybe God had forgotten you. And heaven responded, not by punishing your doubt, but by correcting your vision. You prayed for survival. Heaven is giving you restoration. You prayed for guidance. Heaven is giving you clarity. You prayed for strength. Heaven is giving you authority. Because heaven never returns what you asked for in the same measure you gave it. Heaven multiplies. Heaven expands. Heaven purifies. Heaven elevates. And now, chosen one, the content of the angel's report is returning to you, not in the form of words, but in the form of shifts. This is why your desires are changing, why your priorities feel different, why certain things no longer sit right in your spirit, why you feel pulled toward a version of yourself you haven't fully met yet. The angel did not carry a request to heaven, it carried your transformation. Heaven answered by adjusting your path. You may have noticed doors closing quickly and unexpectedly. That's not rejection, that's alignment. Some things were never meant to stay. Once the angelic report revealed what you truly needed, you asked for blessing. But heaven saw what would bless you long term and what would harm you if it remained. People who were never meant to be in your future began to fall away. Thoughts that once tortured you are weakening. Habits that once held you are losing their grip. This is the response to the report. The angel also carried your capacity, your strength, your potential, the parts of you you haven't discovered yet. Heaven responds to capacity more than desire. You desired relief, but your capacity pointed heaven toward calling. When heaven sees what you're capable of, it does not treat you as fragile. It treats you as chosen, and that is why the response may feel heavy at times, not because heaven is working against you, but because heaven is shaping you according to what the angel presented. The angelic report also included your readiness, even if you felt unprepared. Heaven saw the maturity forming inside you. Heaven saw the endurance you didn't realize you had. Heaven saw the growth that came from the battles you survived. Your entire life prepared you for what heaven is now releasing. The report has already been delivered. The response has already begun, and the unfolding is already surrounding your life. The next steps of your destiny are not being built, they're being revealed. As the angel delivered the report of your prayer, chosen one, something else happened, something the natural eye could never perceive. The moment heaven responded, the kingdom of darkness reacted. Not because you were weak, not because you were vulnerable, but because heaven's attention on your life signaled a shift in your trajectory. And when a chosen one begins to rise, darkness becomes restless. This is the truth most people never realize. There are spiritual reactions to your spiritual elevation. There are tremors in the unseen every time you step closer to your calling. There is agitation in darkness whenever you begin walking in clarity, purpose, purity, and truth. Heaven's response always exposes what was hiding in the shadows. This is why you suddenly felt certain pressures increase, why some people around you changed without explanation, why emotions that were calm for years suddenly resurfaced, why old temptations tried to revisit you, why confusion appeared in places where you once felt confident. It was not regression, it was exposure. Darkness panicked because your prayer triggered a shift that could no longer be reversed. You didn't do anything wrong. You didn't lose spiritual ground. You didn't mess something up. You simply stepped into visibility, the kind darkness cannot tolerate. Think of it like this: when dawn begins to rise, even before the sun breaks the horizon, darkness reacts first. It becomes thinner, weaker, unsettled. Shadows stretch. Creatures of the night scatter, not because the sun has risen yet, but because they sense that it will. That's what happened around you. Your light didn't even need to be full. Your awakening was enough to cause reaction. Darkness recognized something that you are only beginning to understand. Your growth threatens every plan that was formed against you. Your rising dismantles generational patterns. Your clarity breaks spiritual cycles. Your obedience disrupts every trap designed to catch you in the future. This is why the enemy tried to make you feel overwhelmed, why your mind felt clouded at times, why sudden discouragement tried to cling to you, why fear came in uninvited waves. None of this was coincidence. It was interference, a last attempt to keep you from fully stepping into the shift heaven initiated. But here's what darkness underestimated. You learned how to survive storms. You learned how to endure in silence. You learned how to stand, even when trembling. You learned how to rise without applause. You have been battle-tested long before you reached this moment. And your resilience is not accidental. It is prophetic. Everything you survived in the past has become spiritual armor for this moment in your life. The confusion that once broke you can no longer bend you. The fear that used to hold you now stands powerless. The emotional wounds that once dictated your decisions have lost their authority. Darkness reacted to your awakening, but you did not fall. You did not collapse. You did not return to who you used to be. Instead, something deeper awakened. You began sensing the difference between your thoughts and spiritual interference. You began noticing emotional shifts that weren't coming from you. You began discerning the intentions of people around you with unusual clarity. You began feeling when something was off before you could articulate why. This is spiritual maturity. This is spiritual awakening. This is what it looks like when a chosen one starts to walk in awareness. You are no longer spiritually blind. You are no longer spiritually silent. You are no longer spiritually passive. You have stepped into the ability to see, truly see the forces at play around your life. And now something even more profound is happening. Darkness is losing its ability to influence you. The reactions you once mistook as personal attacks are being exposed as spiritual resistance. Seeing them for what they are weakens their power, because awareness is liberation. The moment you recognize an attack, it loses half its strength. The moment you understand the strategy behind it, it loses the rest. The moment you refuse to respond emotionally, the attack collapses entirely. And that is what is happening now. Your awakening is dismantling strategies that were meant to entangle you. Your clarity is ruining the plans darkness hoped to carry out quietly. Your discernment is making you untouchable in areas where you were once vulnerable. Chosen one. This is not a season of warfare against you. This is a season of warfare revealed to you. And you cannot fight what you cannot see. That is why heaven lifted the veil. That is why the angelic report mattered. That is why your prayer triggered a shift. Because heaven did not just want to protect you, heaven wanted to equip you. You are no longer walking through life unaware. You are walking with sight. You are walking with strength. You are walking with heaven's full attention. And the reactions of darkness are not signs of your weakness, they are signs of your rising. As you step into this next revelation, chosen one, something powerful begins to rise from within you, a strength you did not know you possessed. A resilience you did not know was growing. A spiritual authority you did not realize you were carrying. You have walked through battles, survived storms, and endured pressures that would have shattered others. Yet here you are, not only standing, but awakening. What you're feeling now, that inner firmness, that quiet boldness, that growing clarity is not accidental. It is the unveiling of what heaven deposited into you long before the battle ever began. You have been discovering not just what is around you, but what is inside you. For so long, you thought of yourself as fragile because the warfare felt heavy. But chosen ones often mistake the weight of their calling for the weakness of their spirit. Now the truth is becoming clear. You were never fragile. You were fortified. You see, spiritual strength does not reveal itself in peaceful seasons. It reveals itself in storms, disappointments, heartbreaks, and pressure. Every time you survived what tried to break you, strength grew. Every time you stood up after falling, strength expanded. Every time you chose hope when darkness whispered defeat, strength rooted deeper. And now that you are seeing the hidden battles around you more clearly, you're also beginning to see the hidden strength within you. The ancient words recorded in Ephesians chapter 6, verse 10, declare a truth for this moment. Be strong in the Lord and in the power of His might. Not strong in your emotions, not strong in your circumstances, not strong in your own ability, but strong in what God placed inside you, the power of His might working through your life. This strength is what terrifies darkness. This strength is why you have been targeted. This strength is why the storms came. Because darkness never wastes energy attacking someone powerless. It attacks those with potential, authority, and spiritual influence. You have always carried a presence that unsettles anything unclean, a light that challenges anything hidden, and a depth that exposes what others overlook. Even when you didn't feel strong, darkness could sense the might inside you. There were moments you thought you were close to breaking, but heaven saw you growing. There were times you doubted whether you could take another step, but heaven saw your endurance increasing. There were nights you felt like your heart was collapsing under pressure, but heaven saw a warrior rising. You didn't see the strength because it was maturing in silence. But now the silence has lifted, and your strength is becoming visible not only to you, but to the spiritual realm around you. Your mind is becoming clearer, your emotions steadier, your discernment sharper, your boundaries stronger, your spirit calmer, more grounded, more aware. This is not personality. This is transformation. You are being shaped into someone who no longer reacts out of fear, but responds out of purpose. Someone who no longer collapses under emotional weight, but carries spiritual authority. Someone who no longer internalizes every battle, but recognizes their origin and walks in victory. This strength is not loud. It does not roar. It does not boast. It stands, and its stillness intimidates darkness. When you stand in clarity, everything that once manipulated you loses its hold. When you stand in truth, lies cannot distort your path. When you stand in spiritual maturity, emocional, chaos no longer rules your decisions. You are stepping into a season where you no longer fight from weakness, you fight from identity. You fight from awareness. You fight from divine backing. This is why your life feels different now. Because you are different now. You feel things shifting, not only around you, but inside you. You are calmer in situations that once stressed you. You are more confident in places where you once doubted yourself. You can sense danger before it appears. You can discern intentions before words are spoken. You can feel heaven's guidance even in silence. This is what spiritual strength looks like in the chosen. It's not loud, it's rooted. It's not aggressive, it's anchored. It's not unstable, it's unshakable. And now, chosen one, heaven invites you to acknowledge it. Not for a ritual, not for a performance, but as a declaration, one that marks a moment in the spiritual realm. Write these words: I choose light. This simple sentence may look small, but it carries weight. It announces to heaven that you are aligning with strength, clarity, and purpose. It announces to darkness that it no longer has the right to confuse you. It announces to your spirit that you are stepping fully into identity. By writing it, you are declaring, I choose truth over fear. I choose clarity over confusion. I choose growth over stagnation. I choose who God says I am. Oh, this moment marks the strengthening of your spirit, the rising of the warrior inside you. You step into this next revelation, chosen one, and heaven begins to unfold. Something you have wrestled with for years, the mystery of divine delay, the unanswered prayers, the slow breakthroughs, the long waiting seasons that stretched your faith thin, the moments where you asked God, why not now, and received silence instead of clarity. You weren't being ignored. You weren't being punished. You weren't being overlooked. You were being protected, prepared, and positioned. Some blessings were held back because they would have overwhelmed you too soon. Some connections were delayed because you would have trusted the wrong people. Some opportunities were slowed because your spirit needed strength before stepping into them. Heaven has never been withholding from you. Heaven has been shaping you. Consider this: a bow must pull back before it releases the arrow. A wave must recede before it rises. A tree must root downward before it grows upward. The pressure you felt was preparation. The slowness you hated was strategy. The waiting you endured was wisdom. The ancient words recorded in Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, echo through your journey. Though the vision may tarry, wait for it. It will surely come. It will not delay. Your blessing isn't late, it's aligned. And the moment heaven aligns something for a chosen one, the release is unstoppable. There were seasons you begged God to open doors. But God knew some of those doors were traps dressed as opportunities. You saw potential, heaven saw danger. You saw excitement, heaven saw distraction. You saw timing, heaven saw misplacement. God's delays were not closed doors. They were shields. And now that you have grown, awakened, and spiritually strengthened, something new begins to happen. The delays start making sense. You can look back and say, "Thank God that didn't happen then. Thank God that person left. Thank God that door didn't open when I wanted it to." And clarity often arrives after obedience. And now, destiny draws near, closer than it has ever been. You can feel the tension inside your spirit, a tug, a stirring, a quiet knowing. It's the same feeling a seed experiences right before sprouting, the pressure of transformation. You're not stuck. You're not behind. You're not forgotten. You are in the final stretch of what heaven has been aligning. But here is something most people never realize. When breakthrough approaches, the soul must remain nourished. Just as a traveler needs water in the desert, our rising spirit needs support, connection, and reinforcement. Destiny will demand strength, and strength grows where there is consistent spiritual nourishment. Messages like these, the guidance, the clarity, the awakening, you feel they are part of that nourishment. You are being fed, not with noise, but with truth, not with distraction, but with purpose, not with emptiness, but with depth. And truthfully, chosen one, this mission takes energy, devotion, time, and resources. If these words have lifted you, helped you see clearly, helped you rise, then supporting this work is more than a gesture. It becomes a seed you plant into the same stream that waters your spirit. Think of it like tending a lighthouse during a storm. The keeper keeps the flame burning, but the community brings the oil. Without the flame, ships are lost. Without the oil, the flame dies. Or imagine a well that gives water freely, but someone must draw the water, maintain the bucket, repair the stone. Without care, even the deepest well runs dry. Your support, whether through liking, sharing, subscribing, or donating, becomes the oil that keeps this light shining. It becomes the hand that helps draw the water, not just for you, but for thousands of souls walking through darkness, searching for direction, longing for clarity, just as you once did. If this message has met you, lifted you, spoken to you, then let your heart respond. Not from pressure, not from obligation, but from gratitude, from understanding that when something feeds you, you strengthen it in return so it can feed others. A like is a ripple, a share is a bridge, a subscribe is a step into deeper connection. A donation is a seed, one that grows into someone else's breakthrough. Support in the way you feel led. Support in the way your spirit nudges you. Support with sincerity. Because when you help keep a light burning, that light will always find its way back to you. Chosen one. Your delay was never abandonment. It was preparation for a future so full, so purposeful, so divine, that heaven needed you ready before it arrived. And now you are. As you step into this next unfolding, chosen one, heaven begins to reveal not just the battles around you, not just the shifts within you, but the covenant that has always covered you. This is the part of your journey many never understand. Your life is not random. Your blessings are not coincidences. Your survival is not luck. There is a lineage, a spiritual inheritance, a divine agreement written over your existence long before you took your first breath. Some people walk through life with no sense of spiritual identity, no awareness of what is written over them. But you have always felt something deeper pulling you, a sense of purpose, a sense of being watched over, a sense that your life is connected to something older, wiser, and larger than yourself. You did not choose this covenant. It chose you. Before you became aware of God, God was aware of you. Before you prayed your first prayer, heaven had already spoken promises over your path. Before you ever fell, grace had already been assigned to lift you. This is why, through every season of your life, you have felt a strange resilience, a strength that appeared out of nowhere, a peace that made no sense. A second wind when you thought you were finished. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah. Chapter 54, verse 10. Though the mountains be shaken and the hills be removed, my unfailing love for you will not be shaken, nor my covenant of peace be removed, says the Lord. This covenant has carried you through storms that would have crushed others. It has kept your mind from collapsing under pressure. It has preserved your heart through betrayals, losses, and heartbreaks. It has kept you alive physically, emotionally, spiritually, even in moments where you didn't realize heaven was intervening. Look back for a moment. Think about the accident you avoided, the person who left before they destroyed you, the door that closed before it trapped you, the crisis that didn't touch you even though it touched everyone around you, the decision you almost made that would have altered your life in ways you can't imagine. That wasn't coincidence. That was covenant. You have always been held, even when you felt dropped. You have always been guarded, even when you felt exposed. You have always been guided, even when you felt lost. Some of the deepest pains you experienced were not signs of abandonment. They were the molding of someone who carries a divine purpose. Coveted souls are shaped differently. They experience depth, heartbreak, and intensity that others do not, because their calling requires a spiritual strength that cannot be built in comfort. Covenant comes with weight. Covenant comes with refinement. Covenant comes with divine responsibility. And now, heaven is revealing something further. Your covenant is not only about protection, it's about promise. There are promises over your life that cannot be cancelled, promises over your future that cannot be stolen, promises woven into your destiny that cannot be erased by human failure, by darkness, or by delay. This is why certain things didn't work out, because they weren't part of the promise. This is why certain relationships collapsed, because they were not covenant aligned. This is why your spirit could never truly settle for less, because the promise over you demanded more. You were not created to live an average story. There is greatness in your bloodline, even if those before you never walked in it. There is purpose in your DNA, even if those around you cannot understand it. There is holiness written into your identity, even if life tried to convince you otherwise. And here is the most profound truth of all. You are the one heaven has chosen to activate and fulfill the covenant your ancestors could not complete. You are the one breaking generational patterns. You are the one shifting spiritual trajectories. You are the one carrying what others tried to bury. You are the one rising where others fell. Not because you are better, but because you are chosen. You are living proof that God honors covenant. even when generations fail to keep it. You are the continuation of a promise that long predates your existence. You are the fulfillment of prayers, someone before you whispered, but never saw answered. And heaven is preparing you to walk into the fullness of that covenant in the chapters ahead. The promises over your life are waking up. The protection around your life is strengthening. The purpose inside your life is maturing. And this is only the beginning. You stand now at the threshold. Chosen one, a place in the Spirit where everything behind you begins to make sense and everything ahead of you begins to call your name. You may not realize it fully, but you have arrived at a point few ever reach, the edge of a life-altering breakthrough. Not a small shift, not a temporary blessing, a true crossing over moment where one season ends and a new destiny begins. This is why life has felt unusual lately, why your emotions have been stirred, why your discernment has sharpened, why certain things suddenly feel too small for you, why you sense change coming, even without evidence. That inner trembling is not anxiety, it is spiritual acceleration. Heaven moves you before it moves the world around you. Your spirit receives the shift before your circumstances reflect it. Your heart feels the transformation before your eyes witness it. You are not imagining the tension. This is the spiritual pressure of breakthrough. Think of a butterfly inside its cocoon. The moment right before transformation looks like struggle. The shell tightens. The space becomes uncomfortable. The old form can no longer contain the emerging one. But the pressure is not punishment, it is birth. That is where you stand, between who you were and who heaven is calling you to become. You have felt this coming for a long time, the sense that your life is bigger than your current surroundings, that something is about to shift dramatically, that God has been preparing you quietly and intentionally, and now, heaven confirms it. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Luke, chapter 11, verse 9, ask, and it shall be given you. Seek, and you shall find. Knock, and the door shall be opened to you. Read it again, slowly. A door shall be opened. This is not symbolic, not poetic, not metaphorical. It is literal in the spiritual realm. A door is opening for you. Chosen one, a door that has been closed for years. A door your prayers have pressed against. A door heaven kept sealed until the right moment. And the right moment is now. Breakthrough is not random. Breakthrough requires alignment, spiritual, emotional, and internal alignment. Heaven has been shaping you so that when the door opens, you will not sabotage it, question it, or shrink from it. You will walk through it. This is why you had to outgrow certain relationships, why you had to unlearn certain fears, why you had to break from old patterns, why you had to confront parts of yourself you once avoided. Breakthrough demands maturity. Breakthrough demands clarity. Breakthrough demands readiness. And heaven has been preparing you even when you didn't recognize it. Every delay refined you. Every disappointment strengthened you. Every loss purified you. Every battle sharpened you. Now, the weight you once feared is becoming the strength you now carry. Notice the signs around you. Your heart is restless for something higher. You are losing interest in old distractions. Your spirit is pulling you toward purpose, truth, and alignment. You feel a quiet confidence rising, even if you don't know where it's leading. These are indicators that the door is close, very close. But here is the reality many never grasp. Breakthrough requires acknowledgement. Heaven responds when the chosen one recognizes the moment. So before stepping into what is coming, heaven invites you to respond with a prophetic act, not for show, not for ritual, but for alignment. Write the number 555, a number you have not used, a number symbolizing shift, transition, and divine movement. Write it as a declaration that you are ready. Write it as a signal to heaven that you recognize the season. Write it as a statement that you choose to walk through the door. 555 means I embrace the shift. I welcome the breakthrough. I step into the new. This is not an ordinary chapter in your life. This is a crossing, a spiritual border, a threshold only the chosen reach. And you have arrived. Something profound begins to settle on your shoulders now. Chosen one, not a weight of burden, but a mantle, a spiritual authority that heaven has been shaping, forging, and preparing within you through every trial, every season, every battle you've walked through. You may not have recognized it before, but heaven has been crafting you for leadership in the spirit, for influence, for impact, for purpose that reaches far beyond your personal life. A mantle is not something you earn. It is something heaven places. A divine garment woven from obedience, endurance, and calling. And now, it rests on you. You feel it. Even if you don't yet have words for it, that quiet authority rising in your chest, that unusual confidence beginning to break through fear, that sense that you are meant to step into something bigger than anything you've carried before. It's subtle but undeniable, almost like an inner crown adjusting itself on your spirit. This mantle didn't appear suddenly. It grew with you. It formed through every situation where you kept going when you wanted to quit. It strengthened through the nights you cried, but still whispered, "God, help me." It expanded each time life tried to crush you, yet you rose anyway. Heaven honors that kind of resilience. Heaven invests in that kind of faithfulness. Heaven crowns those who keep walking, even with trembling knees. And it is written as a reminder in the first book of Kings, chapter 19, verse 16, "You shall anoint Elisha to be prophet in your place." A mantle is passed. A mantle is chosen. A mantle is intentional. What rested on the shoulders of those before you, the strength, the assignment, the generational purpose now rests on you. This is why you always felt different. This is why your spirit never fit into the world's patterns. This is why mediocrity suffocated you. Why compromise unsettled you. Why your heart longed for truth even when you ran from it. Your mantle was calling you. And now that you have stepped into spiritual awareness, heaven begins positioning you to walk in that mantle with clarity. You may don't fully know what it is yet, but your spirit knows. Your soul recognizes its shape, its weight, its authority. You are becoming someone who influences atmospheres without speaking, someone who carries peace into chaotic spaces, someone who disrupts darkness simply by entering a room, someone whose presence activates others, awakens others, strengthens others. This is not ego. This is mantle. A mantle is not loud, it is steady. It is not prideful, it is anchored. It is not controlling, it is guiding. It turns ordinary paths into divine assignments. It turns simple words into spiritual impact. It turns your life into a vessel heaven uses. This is why you've been losing certain habits, certains désirs, certain attachments. A mantle cannot rest on someone who is carrying what no longer aligns with their calling. So heaven has been cleansing you gently, consistently, intentionally. You may have noticed you no longer tolerate what drains your spirit. You see through manipulation quicker. You detach from what once tempted you. Your heart grows softer to God, sharper to truth. Your mind feels clearer, even though you cannot explain why. This is the mantle shaping you from the inside out. And do not overlook this. Mantles always attract both favor and opposition. Favor, because heaven opens doors for those who carry divine assignments. Opposition, because darkness recognizes rising authority before the chosen one sees it. The pressure you felt recently was not random. It was resistance to the mantle settling on you. Heaven was not punishing you. Heaven was positioning you. Pressure reveals strength. Pressure molds character. Pressure purifies calling. Your mantle required depth, not shallowness. Conviction, not confusion. A spiritual sensitivity, not numbness. And heaven has built all of that within you through your journey. Now, something else begins happening. You start to feel responsible, not in a burdensome way, but in a purposeful way. You start recognizing how your words affect others, how your presence shifts environments, how your inner growth influences the people connected to you. Mantle births responsibility. Responsibility births impact. Impact births legacy. Your mantle is not only for you, it is for those who will come after you. Those who will learn from your strength. Those who will walk paths you clear. Those who will rise because you rose first. This is why heaven trusted you with battles others never had to face. Because you would overcome them and then guide others through theirs. Because you would feel deeply and then become a healer. Because you would break and then become a builder. The mantle is already resting on you. Your spirit knows it. Heaven knows it. Even darkness knows it. And now, as you continue forward, you will not walk as the person you were. You will walk as the one heaven has been shaping you to become. You are stepping into a new authority, a new clarity, a new purpose. This is the birth of your mantle and the rise of the one chosen to carry it. As you continue on this path, chosen one, heaven leads you into a necessary confrontation, not with enemies, not with people, but with the old chains that once held you. These chains are not physical. They are emotional, mental, spiritual restraints formed through years of pain, patterns, trauma, fear, and identity confusion. Before you can fully walk in the mantle placed upon you, these chains must be faced, exposed, and broken. You have already sensed this happening. Old memories resurfacing. Old insecurities whispering again. Old wounds reopening just enough to be noticed. Old fears trying to regain their place. Not to break you, but to be released from you. Breakthrough is not only about stepping into the new, it is also about releasing what cannot come with you. Every chosen one undergoes this moment, the moment where heaven says, "This cannot stay, not anymore." And so, the chains come into view. Some chains were placed on you by others. Words spoken in anger, doubt, rejection, or control. Words that shaped how you saw yourself. Words that became seeds. And those seeds became limitations. Those chains are loosening now. Some chains were self-constructed. The fear of failure, the fear of disappointing people, the fear of not being enough, the fear of being too much, the fear of stepping out alone, the fear of being seen. These fears once felt natural because the wound that birthed them was never healed. But heaven is shining light on them now. Because you cannot carry fear into a calling built on faith. And then there were chains forged by experiences, moments that scarred you, losses that buried parts of your soul, disappointments that made you cautious, broken trust that made you guarded, heartbreak that made you question your worth. Experience-based chains are the hardest to break because they come with memories. But the fact that heaven is exposing them now means they are ready to be uprooted. Chosen one. Understand this. God does not expose to shame, He exposes to heal. He does not reveal to condemn, He reveals to free. He does not unearth pain to reopen wounds, He does it to remove the poison. These chains are not resurfacing to trap you, they are rising to be released from you once and for all. As was spoken through the prophet Nahum, chapter 1, verse 13, I will break the yoke from your neck and tear your shackles away. Ali, that is what heaven is doing now. Breaking yokes, tearing shackles, releasing chains. You may feel emotional waves. That is part of it. You may find yourself remembering things you forgot. That is part of it. You may feel a heaviness for a moment. That is part of it. Healing always begins with acknowledgement. Nothing breaks by staying hidden. Nothing heals by staying buried. Nothing transforms by being ignored. Your soul is being cleansed so that your spirit can rise fully. Think of it like a house being renovated. Before new walls can be built, the old ones must come down. Before fresh paint can be applied, the cracks must be repaired. Before the beauty is revealed, the debris must be removed. Heaven is renovating your inner world. Some chains come off gently, like threads slipping loose. Others break violently, like rusted iron snapping under pressure. Either way, they will break. This season may feel like an internal shaking, but it is a holy shaking, a necessary shaking. You are not breaking down, you are breaking free. Your spirit is pushing out what no longer aligns with who you are becoming. You may have days where you feel lighter, clearer, more hopeful, and days where old emotions surface. This is not backsliding. This is detoxing. Your heart is detoxing from old pain. Your mind is detoxing from old lies. Your spirit is detoxing from old fears. Liberation is rarely clean, but it is always worth it. The chains you are confronting now once defined you. They shaped how you made decisions, how you saw yourself, how you approached relationships, how you handled opportunities. They taught you to shrink, to hide, to settle. But heaven is teaching you something new. You are not your past. You are not your wounds. You are not your fears. You are not your mistakes. You are chosen, and chosen ones are not defined by chains. They are defined by callings. This inner confrontation is your spiritual crossing. Once these chains fall off, you will walk differently, think differently, speak differently, choose differently, believe differently. And when you finally step into the next chapter free, whole, grounded, awakened, you will understand why the breaking had to happen first. You cannot carry chains into a destiny built for wings. This is the shedding before the rising, the loosening before the launching, the breaking before the becoming. And you are becoming. You step into this next chapter, chosen one, and heaven begins to reveal something profound. This is the moment where you do not simply carry your identity, you rise in it. The rise of a chosen one is not loud, not dramatic, not theatrical. It is steady. It is deliberate. It is the moment when your spirit stands taller than your past, your wounds, and your former limitations. Everything you have walked through, every battle, every tear, every breakthrough has led you to this exact rise. It is not coincidence. It is culmination. When heaven lifts a chosen one, it is like a dawn breaking after a long night. At first, it's subtle, a soft glow, a gentle warmth. The world around you hasn't fully changed yet, but you have, and soon, everything external begins to align with what has already awakened inside you. You are rising in identity, rising in clarity, rising in strength, rising in purpose, rising in spiritual authority. The rise doesn't look like victory all at once. It looks like awareness, the sudden realization that years of pain have matured into wisdom. It looks like peace, the peace you once begged God for now settling into your bones. It looks like courage, a courage that feels strangely natural, as if it had been forming in secret all along. And heaven has been waiting for this moment, for the rise, for the alignment, for the emergence of who you truly are. As the Apostle reminds us in his second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 3, verse 18, and we all are being transformed into his image with ever-increasing glory. Did you hear that? Chosen one, ever-increasing glory. Not momentary, not temporary. It increases. And right now, that increase is happening in you. Your perspective has shifted. Your spirit is no longer fragile. Your discernment is no longer cloudy. Your heart is no longer trapped in the past. This is the rise of someone who has walked through fire and did not burn. Someone who survived storms and came out with clearer vision. Someone who fell and learned how to stand with intention. But with rising comes responsibility, because chosen ones do not rise for themselves alone. When God lifts you, He positions you as a lighthouse, a steady, shining guide for others still lost at sea. Think of a lighthouse. It doesn't chase the ships. It stands tall. It shines. It endures storms without losing its light. And because it stands, thousands find their way home. That is what your rise will do for others. When you speak, people will feel clarity. When you walk into a room, peace will follow. When you grow, those connected to you will grow. When you heal, others will find courage to heal. Your rise is not private, it is generational. But here's a truth many overlook. A rising spirit must be supported, not because you are weak, but because rising requires fuel, the way a flame requires oil. Without oil, even the brightest flame flickers. Without nourishment, even a strong soul can run dry. Every message you have received, every revelation that has spoken to your spirit, every word that has lifted you, these are part of that spiritual oil. If these messages have served you, strengthened you, awakened you, then supporting this work is more than generosity. It becomes part of your rise. Like watering the very garden that feeds you, your like is not small. It is a ripple that widens the reach of truth. Your share becomes a bridge, carrying someone else out of darkness. Your subscribe is a declaration that you are choosing continued nourishment and growth. And your donation, whether little or great, becomes oil that keeps this flame burning, not just for you, but for thousands of souls who desperately need light. Think of a traveler finding shelter in a house whose fire is burning brightly. The fire warms them, protects them, gives them strength. But behind that warmth is someone who placed the wood, who tended the flame, who kept it alive. Support is like that, a quiet act that sustains a warm light for countless others. Chosen one. If this rise has blessed you, if these words have been part of your awakening, if this journey has strengthened your spirit, then let your heart respond in whatever way you can, with sincerity, with gratitude, with intention. And before this section closes, heaven invites you to mark your rise with a declaration not long, not complicated, but direct from your spirit. Type these words in the comments. I am rising. This is not just a comment, it is a spiritual announcement, a statement to heaven that you are stepping fully into identity, a statement to darkness that you are no longer intimidated, a statement to yourself that you recognize who you are becoming. Let these 3 words seal this chapter, because the rise has already begun. When heaven begins to release what has been stored for you, chosen one, it is rarely subtle. It does not slip quietly into your life. It does not arrive timidly or cautiously. Heaven's response moves with precision, authority, and assurance, like a river long held back by a dam, finally breaking through, rushing forward with purpose and direction. You can sense it in the strange clarity of recent days, thoughts settling into place, old confusion dissolving, a quiet confidence rising where fear once sat. You can feel it in how your spirit has begun to breathe differently, as if an invisible weight has been lifted. You can feel it in the sudden shifts around you, people acting differently, opportunities appearing unexpectedly, old attachments losing power, new paths shimmering at the edge of your awareness. These are not random changes. They are signs that heaven's response is being unleashed. For so long, you prayed without seeing results. You waited, hoping something would break open. You endured what felt like delay, silence, or stagnation. But what you mistook as inactivity was preparation. Heaven cannot release something into a life that is not yet positioned to hold it. You were not waiting for God. God was aligning the environment around you so that when the release began, nothing could stop it. And now the alignment is complete. As the Apostle wrote in the book of James, chapter 1, verse 17, every good and perfect gift is from above, coming down from the Father of lights. Heaven gives deliberately, and now the giving has begun. When heaven releases, it does so in layers. There is the inner release, healing, clarity, peace, restoration. Then there is the external release, opportunities, resources, connections, open doors. And then there is the spiritual release, authority, discernment, impact, influence. You are stepping into all 3. The inner release has already begun. You feel lighter. Even if you can't explain why, you find yourself thinking differently, responding differently, seeing differently. You feel the old versions of yourself crumbling quietly in the background. You are not forcing change. Change is happening to you, around you, through you. This is heaven's first response, transformation. Because God does not simply bless you, He prepares you to carry the blessing without losing yourself. Then comes the external release. It often begins subtly, a message at the right time, a connection that feels divinely orchestrated, an opportunity you didn't expect, an idea that appears seemingly out of nowhere. This is how heaven opens doors, not just once, but repeatedly, consistently, unmistakably. Do not be surprised if people return to your life unexpectedly. Do not be surprised if relationships shift. Do not be surprised if old burdens dissolve faster than you can process. Do not be surprised if you suddenly know exactly what you must do next. This is how heaven's movement looks in its early stages, like a stream turning into a river. But the most powerful part of the release is the spiritual one. This is when the atmosphere around your life changes. When what used to drain you no longer phases you. When what used to intimidate you now feels small. When clarity becomes your default, not confusion. When peace surrounds you, even in chaos. When discerning truth becomes effortless. When your presence alone disrupts old patterns in others. You are stepping into spiritual authority, not the loud kind, not the confrontational kind, but the steady, undeniable authority of someone aligned with heaven. Heaven's response does not come to merely bless you, it comes to elevate you into who you were always meant to be. And this elevation multiplies. Once heaven begins the release, doors open without struggle, paths straighten without explanation, weight lifts without effort, breakthroughs appear without forcing anything. Not because life became easier, but because heaven began moving faster. This is why things that once required your strength now require only your agreement. Why doors that once took months to open now swing wide in days. Why clarity that once felt impossible is now arriving instantly. Heaven is accelerating you. And in this acceleration, you must understand one thing. You have crossed the threshold where nothing will look the same again. You have entered a spiritual momentum that cannot be reversed. You have stepped into a chapter that cannot be undone. Heaven's response is not a moment, it is a season of unfolding, a season of establishing, a season of rising, a season of becoming. Everything you prayed for, everything you suffered for, everything you waited for, heaven is now releasing it in the exact measure, timing, and form your destiny requires. You are not walking toward blessing, blessing is moving toward you. You are not chasing purpose, purpose is aligning with you. You are not striving anymore, heaven is carrying you into fulfillment. The release has begun, and nothing can stop what heaven has started. You step now into the final unfolding of this journey. Chosen one, the moment where everything that heaven has shaped, restored, strengthened, purified, and awakened within you begins to crystallize into new glory. This is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of a chapter written with divine intention. You are not returning to who you were. You are moving forward as who you were always meant to become. Walking in new glory does not mean walking in perfection. It means walking in alignment with heaven, with purpose, with identity. It means your spirit, your mind, and your steps begin to move as one. It means your life is no longer driven by fear, confusion, or survival, but by clarity, conviction, and calling. For so long, you lived in a version of yourself shaped by old wounds, old expectations, old narratives. You walked carrying weights that were never yours. You survived seasons that would have crushed others. But now, those layers have been stripped away. The chains have broken. The mantle has settled. The release has begun. And now, you walk different. Not because you are pretending to be strong, but because heaven has made you strong. Not because you are trying to appear wise, but because wisdom has been growing in you for years. Not because you are forcing change, but because heaven has already changed you on the inside. This new glory does not shine from ego, it shines from endurance. It is written in the second letter to the Corinthians, chapter 4, verse 17, "For our light affliction, which is but for a moment, is producing for us a far more exceeding and eternal weight of glory." Then, the weight of your glory is not random. It is the product of every tear, every prayer, every unanswered question, every spiritual battle. Nothing was wasted. Nothing was pointless. Every difficulty formed depth in you. Every delay formed patience. Every loss formed humility. Every battle formed authority. And together, these have become the weight of glory resting upon you now, a glory not of status, not of fame, but of transformed spirit. Walking in new glory means stepping into life with a renewed awareness of who walks with you. You don't enter rooms alone. You don't face challenges empty-handed. You don't wake up without spiritual backing. Heavenly presence surrounds you. Angelic protection encamps around you. Divine assignment goes before you. And now, your spirit knows it. You feel it in the way your peace is harder to shake, in the way your intuition has sharpened, in the way you sense danger before it arrives, in the way you recognize blessings before they manifest. This is the walk of someone who carries glory. New glory also brings new responsibility, not heavy, not burdensome, but purposeful. You become a living testimony, a walking reminder of what heaven can do with someone who refused to give up. Your story becomes a lantern in dark places. Your resilience becomes a map for others. Your transformation becomes a message without speaking a word. Wherever you go, you carry atmosphere. You carry peace that calms others. You carry clarity that exposes confusion. You carry gentleness that heals. You carry strength that steadies those around you. Not because you try to, but because glory carries you. And here is the most profound truth about this moment. New glory is not something you step into once. It is something you grow into continually, every day. Heaven reveals more of who you are, every day. Purpose unfolds a little further, every day. Your spirit expands into deeper understanding. You begin to see life through spiritual eyes, not through fear, but through discernment, not through insecurity, but through identity, not through doubt, but through covenant. This glory shapes your decisions. It influences your relationships. It guides your steps. It centers your heart. And slowly, steadily, beautifully, your entire life becomes a reflection of the transformation heaven has done within you. Chosen one. Understand this clearly now. You are stepping into a chapter where nothing about you is the same. Not your thoughts, not your habits, not your boundaries, not your sense of worth, not your vision for the future. This is not self-improvement. This is spiritual rebirth. You are rising into identity. You are rising into purpose. You are rising into glory. And heaven walks with you, not behind you, not beside you, but within you. This is your new walk, your new becoming, your new story, your new glory. And nothing will ever be able to take this from you. Chosen one. Breathe for a moment. You have reached the end of this journey, but heaven has not finished with you. What you just walked through, every revelation, every awakening, every stirring in your spirit, was not entertainment. It was alignment. It was preparation. It was God positioning you for the chapter ahead. If something inside you feels lighter, if your spirit feels more awake, if your heart feels steadier, then know this: heaven has accomplished what it intended. This message has been a journey of remembrance, reminding you who you are, what covers you, what you carry, and what awaits you. You did not arrive here by accident. You were guided here because heaven wanted to speak directly to your spirit. And now, as this script closes, your next chapter begins. If these words have touched you, if this journey has strengthened you, if you felt seen, understood, lifted, or awakened, then let your heart respond in a way that keeps this light alive. Like this message, not for the sake of numbers, but as an act of agreement. Share it because someone else is standing in the dark where you once stood. Comment. Let your voice be part of the echo that reaches another soul. Subscribe. Stay connected to the flow that is feeding your spirit. Every small action you take becomes part of someone else's breakthrough. You are not just receiving light now, you are helping carry it. Chosen one. Walk forward with confidence. Heaven goes with you.